Hello, brothers. My name is Brian Hoffman, and I serve ZBT as the Director of Undergraduate Engagement. I wanted to take a couple of minutes and walk you through our revised Standards of Excellence program and help you understand and navigate it as it relates to your accreditation with the fraternity, as well as your eligibility for awards. What we want to do is we're going to take you step by step from our website to seeing where the different forms are and resources are for you to be successful and make this as user-friendly and seamless as possible. So if you follow me from the ZBT website, you'll want to go, your first step is undergraduates into our Standards of Excellence portal. Click there. You will see the Standards of Excellence information with information here about our chapter awards, individual awards, and special awards. As you scroll down, you'll see how to apply. This is where it's really important to pay attention. As you'll click on the Submit Standards of Excellence, we will be sending you to a submission form that allows you to document and upload proof for each area of accreditation. It will look like this. And as you'll see here, this is our Standards of Excellence submission. And as I read it aloud for all of you, this form will be used to submit all accreditation and award documentation throughout the academic year. All submissions are due by May 15th, 2019 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. As a reminder, unlike past years, the fraternity now requires accreditation meeting 9 of 12 baseline requirements in order to be considered for fraternity awards. A condensed outline of the accreditation standards can be found here. A complete outline of all accreditation and award submission opportunities can be found there. And if you have any questions about this, you can contact the Director of Chapter Services, Nancy Snowden, at nsnowden@zbtnational.org. You can check your chapter status regarding meeting accreditation requirements by visiting another page. So as you see, this is the form, and it allows you to input your basic information, again making this as user-friendly as possible, and then you identify which of the 12 standards you're trying to submit information for. This then gets submitted to the headquarters with your proof and any additional information. You hit submit and you're done. Now to talk about the 12 different areas that you saw, we have a document right here. So when you click on a condensed outline of the accreditation standards can be found here, it takes you to a simple one-pager that looks like this. Chapter Accreditation Program. As it says, the checklist outlines the minimum standards expected of all chapters and colonies of the fraternity, and chapters and colonies must meet at least 75%, or 9 out of 12, by May 15th, 2019 in order to be accredited in good standing and eligible for fraternity awards. So to talk through these 12 standards, they're fairly self-explanatory and they are all extremely objective. So for number 1, we have each brother holding a job and or being involved in at least one registered student organization at your institution outside of the fraternity. The idea here is that ZBT can and should be the best part of your collegiate experience, but should not be the only part. We want to create well-rounded brothers prepared for positions of leadership and service in the community. Number 2, each brother completes at least 10 hours of community service. This ties directly to our ritual when we talk about the importance of cultivating the habit of service. All brothers completing 10 hours of service, submitted and with documentation and proof through the submission portal. The third item is the chapter or colony hosts at least one revenue-generating event for one of the fraternity's official philanthropic partners. These are Children's Miracle Network Hospitals, Jewish Women International, or the Zeta Beta Tau Foundation. The idea here is to build that brand affinity between ZBT, your chapter, and our official partners. The chapter or colony number 4, the chapter or colony confirms the execution of the Zeta Beta Tau initiation ritual and follow-up debrief for each new brother class. Documentation should include an inventory of all ritual regalia. The idea here is we need to make sure, and you need to make sure, that you're performing the ZBT ceremony and that you understand what it means to be a ZBT. This builds our affinity across chapters and across colonies and ensures that brothers have the resources they need in order to have the experience that we seek to provide. The fifth area is that the chapter or colony distributes at least one alumni and/or parent newsletter and hosts at least one alumni and/or parent event. The reason for this being important is that recognizing that you're not alone and that the fraternity experience is not just 4 years, but it involves different stakeholders like your parents, and it involves those brothers who came before you as our alumni. The next area objectively is our recruitment area, and the minimum standard of recruiting is 11 men per year. Chapters report that automatically through Vault, and it is confirmed by the fraternity's headquarters staff. The next area is that the chapter or colony executes at least one program dedicated to exploring ZBT's Jewish heritage. This is rooted very simply in the founding principles of the fraternity and understanding that regardless of your own personal identity, you understand and appreciate the values and the founding principles of ZBT today. The next area is that each brother has signed acknowledgement of the fraternity's risk management and insurance policies. This is for your safety. Think about insurance and wanting to make sure that all brothers understand what healthy standards we are putting in place, health and safety standards for all brothers, and what our expectations are. The next area objectively aligns with the NIC, the North American Interfraternity Conference, their standard of GPA, in that the chapter or colony achieves a GPA of at least a 2.70 in all academic terms. Submission here would simply be your chapter or colony's grade report. The next is about the IRS and ensuring that your chapter is able to maintain its tax status by simply submitting a copy of your IRS Form 990 for the fiscal year. The second to last one, is the chapter or colony has a chapter or colony advisor on record with the fraternity. This is to ensure that you're getting the support you need locally or remotely, and that you're getting multiple perspectives, not just from the headquarters and from your campus advisor, but from an alumnus or a volunteer who's committed to your specific success. In the last area is the chapter or colony submits a copy of its most recent constitution and bylaws, its governing documents. And this is to ensure that we're able to understand where chapters are operationally and ensure that we're able to assist them if there are any questions about management and operations within the chapter. So as you can see on the left side, there are benchmarks and there are check lines that we would be able to check off. You can print this off and know that when you submit it, and then you'll see here the scoring out of 12. It will be compiled, and that will align with our scoring sheet, which we'll show you in a separate video, and you'll be able to follow up from there. If you have any questions about this, you can contact myself, Brian Hoffman, or again, our Director of Chapter Services, Nancy Snowden. If you want additional information detailing the accreditation and the rankings and how you can exceed the best quality of each of these areas and criterias, you can go back to the submission form, click on the second here about the complete outline of all accreditation and award submissions, and that takes you to our master document, which looks like this. Feel free to peruse it at your own liking, and you'll be able to make sure that your chapter is doing the best that it can to represent and uphold the values of ZBT.